Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Everyone's favorite concrete bunker is back for another one of its notorious updates. None other than Split Personalities and Parallel Universes George will be your host today. In today's episode, we have managed to do some work on the Sd.Kfz.184 Elefant in 1 to 35th scale from Dragon and kit number 6126. Past George has managed to do some work onto the superstructure of this tank destroyer. So, before we jump into the whip video, the time has come for you guys to grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, and of course crack the mandatory cold one so you can enjoy and we can start with our video. Now, let's see what he did. Hi guys, Past George here, and I'm back for part 3 on our Elefant build. So, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase because I don't wanna bore you. We are on step 13, and step 13 is starting to work onto the gun bridge mechanism for our Elefant. Step 13 is consisted from these 4 parts. And here is how I am going to do it. I have of course cleaned everything, and I'm gonna attach these two parts together. Since they have no knobs or holes to be able to line them up, I'm going to attach this ring thingy over here in the front. So I have a secure place, a place where I can start gluing, you know. Like a standard connection point. This is the only way that I will line up the parts correctly if I have a point of reference, and this is the point of reference for me after quite some thought. I'm gonna apply glue over here in the rear as well, and I know that there is a gap in the middle, but we are going to take care of it right now. And here it is. Here is what you are supposed to be looking at. Apart the gap, I'm gonna take care of it in a moment, off camera of course. So I have returned back, and as you can see, everything is glued, no gaps or anything at all, just a little bit glue needed and press fitting. And now we have to attach these tubes. Probably they are oil tubes for lifting or lowering the gun. So as you can see over here, there are these shapes which correspond to this and this part over here. So this one goes this direction, and let me see, yep, a quick look at the instructions, like this. So we apply our glue, and this is ready to go. And all that concludes part 13 of the instructions. Next up, we are working onto the elevation mechanism and a bit more parts for the gun bridge mechanism. So, I will be back. You have been warned, guys. I am back. What can I tell? Anyway, part 14 of the instructions, we have the elevation mechanism for the gun bridge and the gun bridge parts. It's all these that you can see over here, and I'm gonna stick to a certain order of parts attachment so we can make our lives easier. Now I'm gonna first assemble the gun bridge mechanism, and I'm gonna start with this part. You can see which goes to this hole. Let me grab my glue, not my blue. Next up we have this one. Now about this part, this square over here needs to go here, and the other smaller square here needs to go to the ridge over there. So let's attach this one as well. Like this. And now we move on to the other side. This one is the inwards. Of course you can see the square over here goes to the corner over here. In this particular order the assembly is more easy. We have also to line up this hole with a knob, this one. And we are good to go. This is our gun bridge assembly. And now we move to the elevation mechanism. So instructions state that this should look forward, the flat part should look forward, and these two pieces should hug the gun bridge. Don't apply glue at the knobs, and if you want the gun to move, and these parts should go like this. One over here and one of the other on the other side. Just fit them together. And it clicks in a position like this. And now we have these two knobs that correspond to these two holes. Let me apply some glue. come on. And there we have it, guys. Our gun bridge is ready. It is the only detail of the interior, so but it is good enough if you ask me. So you can leave some hatches open if you wish. And next up we're gonna attach this part to the upper superstructure. Now that everything is dry, I can show you that we have elevation on the gun mechanism. As you can see, there is slight movement, but this slight movement is enough. And we are now on step 15. Step 15 is attachment of this subassembly to the superstructure and the first periscope. So I'm gonna start with the periscope because it is the smallest part and it needs to go first. You're gonna understand why. So here is where we are going to place it. I'm gonna deviate a bit from the instructions, and I am going to attach this part first and only this part for the moment. And now we are going to attach the gun bridge mechanism. So this subassembly goes like this. These two oval holes should go and stand over these two oval knobs over here. So you go like this, and there they are. Let me hold it in place for a moment. And there we have it. Here is a closer look. Now of course I'm gonna apply more glue when I stop the video, when I pause the video, because this is the only part that the bridge is standing on, and it needs some extra strength. And for our final part, we are gonna apply some glue over here. We're gonna grab our periscope. And fit it through the hole like this. And this concludes step 15. Now for step 16, to move on to step 16, we have to make the commander's hatch, which is a different subassembly, and part of the gun mantlet that goes over here in front. I'm gonna return back with the sub-assembly of the commander's hatch, and we're gonna see how we're gonna move on. So see you in a while, guys. And we are back for the commander's hatch. What you see is what the commander's hatch sub-assembly is consisted from, and the only things that I have attached are two pieces. I'm gonna show you which two. It's Y22 and Y21. I have attached them off camera because they are tiny. Y22 is this one, where the end of my file is, and Y21 is this one. Anyway, I took the liberty to attach them off camera because either way you wouldn't be able to see anything from what I was doing, because everything is so tiny. Anyway, let's start. Assembly is pretty easy and straightforward. You just have to put stuff on top of each other. And that is what are we going to do at the moment. Oh no, it's from the opposite direction over here. Now it sits properly. And of course, the smaller piece should be the harder one to attach. Ooh, this one was a bit messy. And finally, we have the ring that goes on top like this. And this is the commander's cupola assembly. We're gonna leave this thing aside for the time being, and next up we have the gun mantlet, which is this part over here, and I'm gonna return with when I have the parts clean and ready. Gun mantlet time, guys, and this is the parts that we are need to finish the sub-assembly. So warning, because these parts are really small, we're gonna see how the recording of the video goes. If I don't have my fingers on the way in the majority of the video, I'm gonna keep the footage in. If I have them on the way, of course I'm gonna skip that footage out. So let's start. As you can see, pretty simple stuff. There is an indentation over here. Parts are going accordingly. One in this direction and one on the other, on the exact opposite. And of course it flew away. Oh, come on now. Like this. Of course the bolts need to look on the outside of the part of our main part, and the second, and you repeat the same process on the other side, of course. Now I don't know how good my cell phone camera can catch the detail, but here we go. We have some nuts and bolts over here, very fine detail, crisp, and here is the bolt heads, crisp detail. I'm really impressed by Dragon. And this is our gun mantlet assembly. Next up we have some detail pieces for the upper superstructure. I'm gonna prepare the parts and I'm gonna be back. And the time has come for every sub-assembly that I did in the previous parts to get attached on our superstructure. I'm gonna start with the commander's hatch. It has two knobs over here, one over here and one over here, that correspond in the one hole here and one hole there. It goes like this. That clicking you heard is the hatch falling in place. It has a pretty specific point that helps her click in place and leave no gaps. This did it, and our hatch is in place. Now I decided to leave it closed because it doesn't correspond with the square hole. I don't know if it is like this in the real vehicle, but I just wanted to play it safe and I have left it closed. Now next up we're gonna have some hooks, one on each side. One of them is this one, and as you can see over here it has an indentation which is supposed to hug this bolt over here. So I'm gonna apply my glue and I'm gonna attach it to place. Like this. Same on the other side, of course. We are ready to go. Now our last two tiny parts I should say, is this one and this. This round thing goes on top of this, and I think that this is the ventilation system for the crew. It has two knobs over here, one bigger, one smaller. They go on top of our superstructure. Let me see, like this. And as you can see, it has a square mark which corresponds to this square mark. So we have to attach this on top of the other. Let me apply my glue first. Like a glove. And now it's time for us to attach our gun mantlet. There are two holes, there are two corresponding knobs over here, like every time. be extra careful with your glue application. At this point we want to keep our gun moving. Give me a moment, I'm gonna take the piece closer to my eyes. And there we have it. It looks a bit crooked. Maybe I'm going to have to address this. Anyway, before I address this off camera, of course, this is our last piece. It goes over here in the front. Almost clicks in place. Of course, and it is not lined up. I'm not gonna apply the glue right now. I'm gonna fiddle with this part, make it sit flush over here, and then I'm gonna attach the glue. Anyway, that's the way that you are supposed to attach the first part onto the superstructure. Next up we have the loader's hats, or the gunner's hats. I'm gonna be back for that one. See you soon. And this is the last pieces for part 15 that consist the gunners or loaders hats. You have the option to pose them open or close. I opted to pose them close because I don't have a crew to attach. So let's start. First I'm gonna grab this piece. As you can see, it has two holes from the inside, and those two holes exist there because of this part. This is supposed to be a grab handle, not a grab handle, a lever that opens the hatch. Now don't ask me why I attach it, since I'm gonna pose the hatch close. I don't know, it is there. I probably attach it because of reasons, and because I wanna know that it is there. And probably because I wanna make my life harder. Okay, we have the first part of the hatch there. The second should go the opposite way, if I make it. Now I'm going to apply my glue, press it firmly to close. And our final piece is this tiny grab handle, which goes over here on top. And this is it for step 16 of the instructions. This is what you are supposed to be looking at. Our superstructure is partially ready. Next up we need to apply Zimmerit on both sides, this one and the other one, and attach the detail parts over here in the rear. Now I have made the decision to pause the video over here and stop this update to this point, because my updates are tending to be a little bit big, so I want to cut some time from the videos. So this is part 3 of our Elefant build. I hope you guys enjoyed. We haven't done a lot, but it is progress. Anyway, see you next time. Past George is out. And before that's said and done, we have made it to the end of this update. I hope you guys have found it interesting and stick along for the next episode. I also hope that you like what I do here, and if so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, my old and my new and especially my old subscribers, because you guys keep me going with your support. And until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Demon, signing out.